Welcome back to Cozy English Corner. I am looking out the window right now, and the Columbus weather is doing what it does best. It was sunny an hour ago, and now there is a heavy layer of snow covering High Street.
I had to scrape a thick layer of ice off my windshield just to drive over here. Good morning, Alex. It is definitely a real Midwestern winter day today.
It absolutely is. I'm glad you made it safely, Harper. For our listeners, Harper is a senior project manager here in downtown Columbus. She deals with precise communication, deadlines, and managing large teams every single day.
Thank you for having me. Yes, in my line of work, clear communication is everything. A single misunderstood word can delay a project for weeks.
That leads us perfectly into today's topic. We are looking at two structures that confuse English learners constantly. I have been doing and I have done.
This is such an important distinction. When I first started working in the corporate world, I saw colleagues struggle with this all the time. It causes real anxiety.
Let us talk about that anxiety. People often think grammar is just about passing a test, but the reality is much deeper. It is about the fear of sounding incompetent when you write an email to your manager.
Exactly. Imagine you are working late and your boss asks for an update. If you say, "I have been writing the report," but you actually meant, "I have written the report," you just gave them completely different information.
And that mistake might keep you awake at night. You wonder why your boss asked someone else to finish the project? It is because your language signaled that you were still struggling with it.
That is the silent pain many non-native speakers carry in the workplace. They feel they are working harder than anyone else, but their communication makes them seem inefficient.
So, we need to fix this today. Let us break it down clearly. What is the fundamental difference between I have been doing and I have done?
At the core, I have been doing emphasizes the duration and the ongoing process. It focuses on the time spent. On the other hand, I have done emphasizes the completion and the final result.
I always tell my students, I have been doing, ask the question, how long? While I have done, ask the question, is it finished?
That is a perfect mental rule. If I say, "I have been studying the data for 3 hours," I want you to know how hard I have worked. The process is the main point.
But if you say, I have studied the data, you are telling me that you possess the knowledge now. The action is complete, and the result is what matters.
Right. We use both of these in the present perfect tense family. They both connect the past to the present moment, but they serve entirely different psychological purposes.
I am glad you mentioned psychology. There is actually a fascinating concept in cognitive science regarding this. It is called the Zeigarnik effect.
I am not familiar with that term. What does it mean?
The Zeigarnik effect states that people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks much better than completed tasks. Unfinished tasks create mental tension.
That makes complete sense. When I use the continuous form, "I have been organizing these files," my brain feels the weight of the ongoing work. It feels heavy.
Exactly. You are communicating your mental tension. But when you switch to I have done or I have organized the files, the tension disappears. You release that cognitive load.
So when an employee tells their boss, "I have been working on the presentation," instead of "I have finished the presentation," they might unintentionally transfer that mental tension to their boss.
That is a brilliant observation, Harper. You are making your manager feel the weight of the incomplete task. Language shapes our reality in ways we rarely notice.
Let us ground this in some practical examples. If we look at the structure, the continuous form uses have been plus the ing form. For instance, "She has been studying."
Right. We might say, I have been waiting for the snowplow for 2 hours. This shows frustration and highlights the long duration.
And for the simple form, it is have plus the past participle. For example, "I have completed the report." The emphasis shifts entirely to the result.
Let us put these side by side in a real-life situation. Suppose you are at the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. A doctor asks about your health.
If I say, "I have been experiencing headaches for a week," The doctor knows the symptoms started in the past and are still happening right now. The duration is critical.
But if you say, I have had 3 severe headaches this week, you are using the present perfect simple. You are counting the completed events.
Exactly. You use the simple form with numbers and frequencies. I have done it 3 times. I have visited New York twice. We never use the continuous form for counting completed actions.
That is a major rule listeners need to remember. You cannot say, I have been drinking 3 cups of coffee today. It sounds unnatural.
It sounds like you are still trying to finish those 3 cups simultaneously. You must say, I have drunk 3 cups of coffee today.
Let us talk about time expressions. These words are powerful signals. The continuous form often pairs with for and since.
Yes, I have been living in Columbus since 2018. Or, I have been preparing for this meeting for 3 days. It paints a picture of a continuous stretch of time.
Now, let us discuss a nuance that often causes panic. Sometimes both tenses seem correct, but they communicate entirely different messages. For example, learning English.
Oh, this is a great point. If someone says, I have been learning English, it implies they are still in the process. They acknowledge they have more to learn.
But if someone confidently declares, I have learned English, it sounds like they are completely finished. They have mastered the language and possess the final result.
Which, realistically, is a bold claim for any language. I have been speaking English my whole life, and I am still learning new words.
I understand completely. That is why the continuous tense is often more humble and accurate for lifelong skills.
I want to share a scenario from my office. Imagine looking completely exhausted. Your colleague asks why you look so tired.
If you reply, I have been reviewing financial spreadsheets all morning, the continuous form justifies your exhaustion. It emphasizes the draining process.
Yes, it explains the present physical or mental state. However, if you want to show pride, you switch. You stand up tall and say, I have completed the financial review.
It is amazing how a slight grammar change alters your posture and confidence. I have done is the tense of accomplishment and readiness.
We should test the listeners. I will present a sentence, and you help them decide which tense is better.
I love this idea. Listeners, think about the context carefully. What is Harper's first question?
Here is the first one. You want to tell your friend about your long employment history at your current company. Do you say, I have done working here for 5 years? Or, I have been working here for 5 years?
The correct answer is, I have been working here for 5 years. The duration of 5 years requires the continuous form to show the ongoing nature of your career there.
Perfect. Try another one. You finished all your household chores. Do you say, I have been doing my chores? Or, I have done my chores?
If they are completely finished, you say, I have done my chores. It shows completion. If you say, I have been doing my chores, it means you might still have more laundry to fold.
Let us explore negative sentences. They follow the same logic. I have not been working since yesterday emphasizes the absence of the activity over a duration.
And if you use the simple form negatively, I have not finished the work yet, it highlights that the task remains incomplete. It is still pending on your desk.
Questions are also interesting. If I ask, have you been waiting long? I am focusing on your experience of time. It is a very polite and empathetic question.
But if I ask, have you completed the task? I am strictly focused on results. I am not asking about your experience. I just need to know if the result exists.
That distinction is why these tenses matter so much in professional emails. If you write, I have been working on your request, you buy yourself some time while showing effort.
Validating the strategy. That is a fantastic strategy. You validate the client by showing the process is active. Once it is ready, you send a new email. I have completed your request and it is attached.
We should also touch on how to combine these forms for a really sophisticated, complete picture. You can use both in one sentence.
I love complex sentences. How would you construct that?
You could say, I have been working on the project for 2 weeks and I have completed the first section.
That is powerful. You communicate your long-term dedication with the continuous form, and you prove your capability by showing a finished result with the simple form.
Professional advice. It is exactly what hiring managers want to hear in an interview. You show effort and actual achievement simultaneously.
Before we wrap up, how do you suggest our listeners practice acquiring this naturally? Because memorizing rules only gets you so far.
The absolute best method is active observation. Pay close attention to native speakers. Notice when a colleague chooses have been doing instead of have done. Ask yourself why they chose it.
Active listening is crucial. The more you expose your brain to these patterns in context, the faster your ear will tell you what sounds right.
I also recommend creating your own specific dialogues based on your daily life. Speak them out loud. Your mouth needs physical practice forming the words.
That is brilliant advice. If you practice saying, I have been studying English for 2 years and I have learned many new words, you internalize both structures in one breath.
Exactly. You make it personal and real. Language is a muscle, and contextual practice is the best workout.
Let us summarize this one last time for clarity. I have been doing emphasizes duration, process, and ongoing activity. It answers the question, how long?
And I have done emphasizes completion, final results, and accumulated experience. It answers the questions, is it finished? Or what have you achieved?
Harper, thank you so much for coming down to the studio today, especially with this freezing Columbus weather outside.
It was my pleasure, Alex. I hope this discussion helps people feel more confident writing those late-night emails to their managers.
I am certain it will. If this episode helped you master these tricky present perfect tenses, please subscribe to Cozy English Corner. We read every comment and appreciate your engagement.
Keep noticing these patterns in your daily communication. The mastery comes with time and awareness.
Well said. Thank you for learning with us today. Keep growing your English, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.